Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. And welcome back to our Member Monday Spotlight that we do every Monday, where we bring another member of the Lead community forward to talk about their brilliance and teach something that maybe you haven't thought of. And today I'm actually really excited about the secrets of the momentum behind business esteem. So we're not talking about self-esteem, we're talking about business esteem. And I will say that it's probably the reason why most people fail out in business in the first 3 to 5 years. It's that business esteem, and it takes a lot to get on the other side. In fact, this morning I was having a call with my clients. We do a Monday morning motivation call, and one of them said, "It's very frustrating." That's the word that came out of her mouth. And I'm like, I get it. I know. I've built multiple businesses. I know how frustrating it is. Deborah, wouldn't you say that that is definitely one of the areas that is the biggest struggle, like that rocky road in the first year of building a business?
Oh, I think it's interesting. I would agree with you. The frustration comes from sometimes the not knowingness, right? Just the not knowingness. When you and I get frustrated now, it's not that we don't know we're going to get to the other side. It's a new level of frustration. It's a new level of challenge, which is why I love to call it a business esteem, because there's self-esteem and business esteem. And really, they live together. They live together until you can create some distance between them. But yeah, absolutely, it's
Yeah.
frustrating.
Why don't you introduce yourself to everyone that's watching live on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube, and just share a little bit about you and where you're at, and that journey to get there.
Right. Well, hello, everybody. I am from beautiful Vancouver, Canada, because I know there's more than one Vancouver. Right. And we're having a beautiful, gorgeous day today. A little bit about me is I'm heading into my 32nd year of entrepreneurship. Came from the music industry, had what I call a spiritual awakening. Didn't know that's what it was then, but it certainly became very clear many years later, and dove into a sector that didn't exist yet. And that was health and wellness. And I got through that sector by getting involved in personal development. And I thought I needed to make a real change in my life and a real change in my surroundings. It was a really funky, lonely time. And it was about 30 years ago. And so, it's kind of like I really left that home, that safe place of the industry, because it was quite a bonding. It's quite a bonding industry. Anyway, so I went solo. I did a solo album and have created numerous companies in predominantly the health and wellness and personal development training sector, with a lean in on women in business. And here I am 32 years later, and I've been frustrated a few times, most definitely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, what advice do you have for someone who right now, I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are in the budding early stages with building their businesses, because we had this thing called the pandemic happen. Maybe some people lost their jobs. Maybe they chose to leave their jobs once they figured out that they really liked more of the freedom of being home. And so they craved being an entrepreneur and figured, even though the timing might not have been right, they figured, oh, I want more of this. But then they didn't realize at that moment, it is now your responsibility to drive every cent in for your income in your business. And that just becomes this realization for a lot of people. And they don't realize it till maybe a little ways into trying to build that business.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reason why I wanted to talk about, and what would they say in the South in the U.S., God bless you or something, or,
Yeah.
hey dear, it is, whether you're building your business from however you decided to build it from, right? You had a spark and you had an idea enough to get to where you are now. And that spark and idea might, like anything, need polishing from time to time, right? I mean, I don't know. I come from the brass generation where we used to have to polish, and I wear silver and you have to polish it. You have to continually polish it. You have to continually want to have more of what it is that you had. And you have to hold on sometimes with sheer not knowingness to the end game, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday. Look, I was sitting there having a dinner with someone who went completely the other route, right? Had maternity leave, holiday pay, like all that stuff, just went to an event that their company threw. And I was like, this is interesting after 30 years having my life and them having their life, in our comparisons with each other. And it doesn't really matter. Here's the thing. It didn't really matter. They had things that I thought was kind of cool and funky, like, medical and free massage. And I had things that they like where I could pick what I wanted and do what I wanted. And what was better? What was the cost factor to both? I think you have to follow what the gut on the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to follow your gut on the inside. And it's interesting when I talk about business esteem, I really talk a lot about self-esteem. And I don't know any of you that are out there, but when I decided to go into my business, I didn't not take myself with me. I did not take my emotional self with me. My baggage came too. And sometimes I think the hardest thing is realizing that when you're in your business, like, look at when someone says no to you and you work for someone else, you're like, whatever. Like, really, whatever. They didn't say no to me. They said no to the job, or no to that contract, or no to the new tires, or new to that piece of jewelry you were selling. But when you hear no many times, it can wean and trigger up, your abandonment for issues. Like, honest to goodness, there is an interrelationship between us and us. And it's very difficult to wean that place. And I always call it like building your business esteem and your self-esteem. And there was times where I didn't feel so groovy. Like, I wasn't having such a great day, but I was able to look at my business outside of myself, and really, they're not saying no to me. They're saying no to the business offer. They're not like, those things have nothing to do with me. It has to do with my business, and to be able to separate that. That's a bit of a journey. Specifically when I'm working with women, it seems to be more of a journey than it does men, but don't kid yourself. It happens with men as well.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say it also happens not only with someone who's an entrepreneur, but it happens with someone in corporate America who's climbing the corporate ladder, and they might hear a lot of no's or overlooked for promotions. And you might think it's me, it's me, it's me. Sometimes it's just the need of the company at the time, and they're not ready to pull you out of the position you're in because they think you're so great at that and move you to another position, because now they would have to refill your position. And that might be a lot harder than you think, because you're so amazing at what you do, right? So I think it's both, especially for those on LinkedIn that are with us today that might be in corporate America. That business esteem has a lot to do with your career in corporate America, just as much as it has to do as entrepreneurs. And that could be frustrating over and over again. Yes, you might be receiving a paycheck, but it's still frustrating.
Yeah, I think that, like most things, it's an inside job, right? Most things, it's inside job. And if you notice that one's playing into another, right? And like you said, whatever it takes for you to go wherever it is that you want to go. So yes, if you're in a job and you want to go to that next level, or you know what, it's okay to be where you are. And sometimes that can bring up stuff like, what do you mean you don't want the promotion? What do you mean? Like, as if there's something wrong with you. You're like, I'm gigging this. This is exactly the way I want it. So I think when I say it's an inside job, we have relationships with ourselves, and many times it can dance out in what it is that we're doing, our career, our business, our craft, our love, what have you. Yeah. And it's just about that balance. And each time for me, again, I'm just talking about myself and being transparent, is each time I up the game, I'm upping I'm putting on a different jacket, right? I mean, Colleen, we're in a big project right now, and I'm talking to a multiple amount of celebrities, and I could easily, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, would I sit across from these people and still hold the same posture that I do now? Probably not. I would have had myself on a different playing field, right? But, when a celebrity misses an appointment with me, I'm like, oh, too bad for them. Like, seriously, I'm like, I'm not chasing them. I'm not calling them back. I'm not like, my project's going to crash without you. It's like, call me if you're ready. And if we have a spot left, good for you. I mean, and I don't say that with arrogance. I say that with 20 years of posture and having to, play where you play and have that conversation where you have that conversation, and having to have worked through that and walk through that.
Yeah. And, in the beginning, like you said, and even, I'm 5 years into being an entrepreneur and 22 years into launching businesses and being a consultant. And I work with a lot of coaches, a lot of VAs. I work with a lot of service-based individuals. And I will tell you that I hear more no's than yeses still on a regular basis. And I'm sure you do too, Deborah. Like, the math works out that you're going to get more no's than yeses. That's just how the math works out. Because if you're like, I need to get 5 yeses, and you plan on only talking to 5 people, you're probably going to get half of those, if not 3/4 of those, as no's. So plan on that's not going to be all the 5 people that you talk to. You've got to talk to 25 or 35 people to get the 5 yeses. So you're always going to be receiving a flood of no's, and that is okay, because that I love that when you said it's separating the business. We have to understand that we know what our products or services are, we know what our company represents and what we're able to do. And if they feel like they're not ready, right, to step into that, it's not about us, it's about them not being ready to step into that. You didn't want to work with them anyway, I'll tell you that, because if they're not ready and they said a shaky yes and did it, they're going to take 80% of your time. So you're better off with the ones that are the for sure yeses, because now they're ready to be activated to take advantage of the products and services that your company has to offer. Wouldn't you say?
No, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of times I just tell my clients things come down to math, right? They're going to come down to math. And what is it that you're going to do to put the odds in your favor? And we're always going to have that exception to the rule where you nail that, you nail that sale. But that's an odd in the favor, meaning that you've been out there. I mean, I teach profit calling, money starts at 5, right? Most of the sales go to Google, your stats are between 12 to 18 times. You're going to have that 87% turnover of someone saying yes. I think it's about being willing to just not be comfortable. And really, I teach, I was so grateful that one of my, we all have them. One of my, the people that I used to use many years ago for advice, he taught me one thing very, very strongly. Two things. One is love the one you're with. And so when you're a multiplepreneur like I am, and a multiplepreneur, you love the one you're with. And the other one is the art of containment. And the art of containment is, no matter how I'm feeling in this moment, you can shift it in 3 seconds before you get on that call. If you have any challenges at all, or I'm not good enough, or I'm feeling like crazy, or I've had a fight with my spouse, or I got issues with my kids, or a big bill just came in double, or I didn't buy that, I got a call and my credit card's compromised, and you got 3 minutes to get on the air, or you got 3 minutes to that meeting. And it is being able to use that, put it in a ball, put it in a box, put a lid on it. For me, I use music, right? I shift with music in 2 seconds, stand up, stand down, shake it off. It's the art of containment. You can feel frustrated all day if you want and have your best day at work. And if you want, you can go back to feeling frustrated at the end. Chances are you won't want to pick up that box, right? But the art of containment is, I think, one of the most fundamental things that people need to really learn and get if this entrepreneurship is a new party for you, or you're venturing to the next level and you're going to get tested, because that's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to follow Deb today, you can email her, give her a message, send her an email, deb@debdrummond.com, which means you can reach her also and see her website at debdrummond.com, or connect with her on LinkedIn. She's also connected here to this video on LinkedIn. But, the other thing I want to say, Deb, is you do things that others aren't willing to do. There's this top 5% of entrepreneurship, I feel, that you do whatever it takes to make it work, right? So not some people will say, well, I'm not going to go do that on a Saturday afternoon. Well, then you don't want it bad enough, right? You've picked up and gone and said, this is a great place for me to meet leads. So I'm going to sit here all day on a Saturday and walk around and meet people. When you do and go above and beyond, that's when you really are going to meet the people that you need to meet. I mean, when I first became an entrepreneur, my entire day, every single day, was just meet, network, meet. All I did was network and calls and network and calls and network and calls. So I always get confused when clients are like, I'm too busy to do all that. And I'm like, doing what? Because generating income is the number one thing that's going to keep your business going. Don't you think, Deborah? You've got to be willing to do the things.
Oh, I talk about it all the time. I just got a keynote with a bank here, and I am going to go speak to a certain sector that are having a little bit of an issue. And the topic is really fall in love with grit. Like there's no magic. I mean, I don't care how many posts, how many's on your Twitter, or how many million, I don't care. What's showing up in your business, and fall in love with grit. And
Yes.
I remember the first, when I went into a different sector, I remember a woman that I was talking to, and it was the summer, and I had like this huge team, right? And she goes, "Can I talk to your team?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "I got one thing to say." You know what I mean? She's like, "Welcome to your first summer where you don't get a tan." You know what I mean?
I love that.
And I see to people, like, I had someone yesterday, they're like, "Oh, well, it's getting close to the holidays. Maybe we should book after." Now, I said, "I don't know
What?
about you, but," I said, "I don't know about you, but Jesus doesn't pay my credit card bill."
It's September. What are you talking about? Getting
I
close
know.
to
I
the
was like,
holidays.
I can just imagine. I was like, "I don't know about you. I don't know who's paying your credit card bills through the holiday season." But
That's right. I
yeah.
think you're brilliant. And I want everyone to connect with you at debdrummond.com or go to deb@debdrummond.com. Today, we've been talking about the secrets to the momentum for really behind business esteem, which is self-esteem, but business esteem. And what are you doing to keep that business esteem high? Are you surrounding yourself with coaches, with mentors, with sponsors? Deborah and I, we've done that our entire lives, our entire careers. And we also work with individuals that need us to be there. Do you have a community of people, especially like the LEAP community, that is there to guide you in a business building community so you don't feel alone? So you're getting advice and you're getting, opportunities and collaboration and so much more. It is crucial to not be on an island by yourself thinking you can do everything by yourself, right, Deb? It's just
Absolutely.
impossible. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this
So
isn't a solo game.
there's so much more that Deb offers. Go to debdrummond.com, email her at deb@debdrummond.com. There's so much she offers. You got to get in her circle. She has a huge movement coming right now. Let's just take 1 minute, talk about that, and then we'll sign off.
Okay, awesome. It is called 262 Women Entrepreneurs, Creatives, and Media Rock Legacy and Tell All. And it is coupled with a stand up, speak up, and show up summit event series where 13 women every month do free workshops and presentations. 450 women on the inside. And it is the largest International Women's Day speakership and authorship event. And it is a global free access to the world. You can come, and we have women from all over the world. If you want to author, if you want to speak, or if you want to come and get refueled, honestly, reach out to me and we will get you the link every single month. It is honestly the place to be, and it's going all the way till May 2024 and then kicking off a book tour.
That's going to be awesome. I joined up for this a little over a year ago, and so many of my clients and so many women in the community, and it's just a huge movement. So again, the 262, I absolutely love it. And thank you so much for doing this and having women on and celebrating them every single month and giving them a voice. And it's just been fantastic. So Deb, thank you again for being a member of the LEAP community. To all of you out there, what are you doing to get the momentum behind business esteem? Are you feeling burnt out? Are you feeling like you need a jump start? Reach out to Deb at debdrummond.com or deb@debdrummond.com and get yourself going today. Thank you, Deb, for being here. And to all of you, thank you so much for watching and for being the momentum behind me and my success. I really appreciate it. Until next time, be you and be strong. Go crush it this week. Bye-bye for now.